We are gonna spill a little bit of tea today. I hope y'all are ready for today's story time. If you weren't trying to drink some piping hot motherfucking tea, then exit out of this video ASAP because it's about to get hot up in here. I'm about to tell you guys the side of my story. Don't mind the nails, okay? I've been experimenting during my maternity leave. So anyway, if you guys were interested in hearing this story time, then keep on watching. I'm telling you guys the time when I went on Plenty of Fish and the guy that I met and was not really planning a future with, but you know, we were compatible. Well, he had a girlfriend. This was in 2016. I think I had just turned 20. Now, mind you, my dating life had been like up and down. I felt like at the time I was ready to find a stable, committed relationship. Yeah, I know I was young, dumb. I was a virgin as well, so I was trying to get married, lose my virginity. So yeah, 2016, my 20th birthday, February, me and my friend decided to go out to the club. And she was in a relationship with this really nice guy. I really liked him, so I was like, what can I do to find a guy like this? Because he was really nice, genuine, polite, all that stuff. So I'm like, where can I find me a man like that? And I remember we were in the club bathroom and fixing our makeup, and she told me that she went on Plenty of Fish and that I should make a profile. She had told me that there was some crazies on there, but like you have to weed them out. But she's like, it's possible for you to find somebody on there because that's where I found my man. This is why I will never go back on Plenty of Fish ever. I go home and I'm pretty sure it was like either a day or two after, but I ended up making a Plenty of Fish profile. You know, I was just swimming on there. I was seeing what was going on. I had a couple people messaging me, and then I had this guy message me, and I didn't really pay attention to the picture. And ladies, this is the first piece of advice I'm gonna tell you if you're online dating and you know, trying to find love on social media and that kind of stuff. Pay attention to their profile picture, because half of the time men will put a picture of them with their girlfriend. Well, not most of them, but that's what this guy did. Like, he had a picture. I found out after, because that's another thing. I did not know that this man had a girlfriend. So yeah, most of the time the females that are in men's pictures, you should, you know, ask them about it, do some, you know, detective work. And me being stupid, I thought, oh, it's got to be his sister or something. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder who the girl is in his profile picture. But I was just like, it's a sister, it's a cousin. So me and this guy are conversating, you know, hitting it off really well. He was a Libra, very nice, you know, he was half Bayesian as well. So, you know, the fact that I found somebody from Barbados that was kind of like me, I was like, damn, what the hell? He was new to Edmonton, and at the time I was looking for someone who kind of had their shit together, because I felt like I had my shit together. So, you know, I wanted somebody on my level. So, you know, he had his own car, he had his own house, and own car, let me add that in. So I'm like, okay, you know what, this guy's good looking, he has his shit together, let's give it a go. So we were talking for a couple weeks, and then we ended up meeting up. Like, I did not sleep with this guy at all through the whole time that we knew each other and met up. Didn't sleep with him, but you know, he picked me up from my job once and drove me home. And at the time I was working at a daycare. So he picked me up, dropped me off at home one day, and then another time he actually brought me to his house. Nothing happened, guys. Brought me to his house, showing me the gym that he was building, or whoever was building in the basement. He wanted to have a gym down there. Basically showed me this really nice house on the west end of my city. I was like, wow. And at the time I was really into fitness as well. So I'm like, shit, this nigga has a gym in his basement. Like, ooh, I can work out there. Y'all know when something is too good to be true. People say, like, you know, don't fall for it, because if it's too good to be true, then it's probably a lie or something. That's true. He did go on a trip. So he went on some Tony Robinson trip, and he told me that he went alone. So he was out of, I want to say, all of Canada. Like, I don't know if he was in Canada, but he was somewhere. So he was not in the city. And we were emailing, and he asked me, you know, can you send me a picture? So, you know, I sent a little bit of my goodies to him through email. And then something weird happened. Like, he got stuck in Toronto when he was on his way back. He got detained in Toronto. So I'm just like, is that possible? Like, something inside of me was like, I don't know if this is true. So then I started going on my social media, and I was asking people, like, you know, is this true? I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if it was his passport. I don't know what it was, but he was detained. So, you know, all my friends were giving me information. Shout out to Lisa, because Lisa was my dog back then. Like, me and her were communicating a lot during this whole time. Even she was like, okay, it can be true, but it's a little bit suspicious. So I was like, okay. He ended up coming back to the city. It was only like a couple days that he was detained. He ended up flying back. I feel like it was a Sunday night, or it was on a weekday. Either way, because I remember I had work the next day. He mentioned something about, I want to say, his ex, which was probably his girlfriend at the time. He mentioned something about his ex, and then I remember it pissed me off, because I'm like, so go talk to your ex then. Something happened, like, with him and his ex. So he's like, you know what, let me come over and explain. Then I think I got a text from a random number. And it was like, you know what, my ex came over, she destroyed all my shit, blah, blah, blah. She hit me with a tire iron. I'm gonna come over. And I was like, what? Y'all, I was rewatching the video, planning to edit it, and I forgot the most juiciest part of this fucking story. So I had to make myself another cup of coffee and come and tell it to you guys. Now, where I left off with the part of him texting me at this mutual friend's house, telling me he wants to come over to my crib and basically explain what the fuck was going on, because I think this was after he got his ass beat by his ex-girlfriend. So he wanted to come over to my house and explain to me, like, why this ex is over there, like, what's going on. So he had told me, like, I don't have a phone at the moment because she broke my phone, so I'm gonna come over to your house. I'm gonna walk to your house, because we actually lived walking distance, maybe like 20 minutes away from each other, 15 if you're walking. This is how long ago that situation was, and how much, like, I totally forgot about it. So after he had told me, like, I don't have a phone, so the number I'm texting you off of, don't text it back, and I'm gonna be over there, like, ASAP. You know, I'm gonna walk over to your crib. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I get a text message either from, this is like 5-10 minutes after he texted me, and this is when I let my mom know, like, hey, this nigga just got his ass whooped. So he's gonna come over here. He wants to explain what the fuck is going on. And my mom was like, okay. So I get a text message about 5-10 minutes after he told me, like, don't text this number back, blah, blah, blah. I get a text from, I want to say, either his phone or from that number. And basically the number's like, hey, like, trying to have a conversation with me. Some weird shit. Like, it was trying to pick up a conversation that we just had, some weird shit. So I don't know if he deleted the conversation thread from the whatever phone he was using, but either way, so I get this text message, and it's trying to start a conversation with me, but I could already tell by the punctuation and by what they were saying, like, something wasn't adding up here. Like, something was off. Like, why is this nigga texting me after he just told me he's on his way over to my house? So I was already kind of like, red flag. I'm texting this number back, and something, like, my intuition was telling me, like, this is not Peter. This is not Peter at all. Like, don't say nothing. So I asked, what's my birthday? And whoever was texting me, they were like, why do you want me to tell you your birthday? Some weird shit. So then that's when I knew, because me and this nigga had conversated about zodiac signs and apparently how Aquarius and Libra are compatible. That's how I knew that whoever was texting me, when they couldn't tell me my birthday, I was like, this is not him. So then I was like, who is texting me then? Like, who has my number? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I knew this shit was about to pop the fuck off. Like, why do I got bitches texting me? Why do I got people asking me and pretending to be him? Like, it was just crazy. And then he popped up at my door. And then that's where I'm gonna continue telling the story. But it was so crazy. And even he was like, what? Like, who's texting you? And I'm like, yeah. Somebody is texting me from either your phone or whoever's phone he was using at the time, because his was apparently taken or She either took his phone and that's how she found my number. She had found out where my mother lived and where I lived because of the GPS. When he had driven me home from work that one day, he used the GPS apparently, and that's how she was able to figure out where my mom lived and where I lived at the time. It almost makes me wonder what kind of dick this nigga had to have bitches going crazy and to have me in this kind of predicament, because I'm like, I don't want none of that devil dick. But yeah, guys, that was the little piece of the story that I was missing. So I'm gonna continue on where I left off earlier. So this was like 8 o'clock at night. At this point, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, okay, Peter, we're gonna call him, Peter's coming over. He's claiming that his ex hit him with a tire iron, blah, blah, blah. My mom was already amped up. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this guy had a girlfriend or he had an ex, like, what's going on here? My mom's already amped up. And then we get a knock at the door and my mom was like, you know what? I'm gonna answer it. So she answers the door, cusses him out, basically saying like, what the fuck is going on? What are you getting my daughter into? All this kind of shit, because she's like, something's up here. We let him in because his face is all bloody. He has blood coming from his nose and shit. Then he sits us down and he starts telling us the whole story, what this ex-girlfriend or whoever the hell this girl is, what she did, what she's about. Now, I'm not here to talk about anyone's personal relationships, but the story that I got was that he didn't want to be in this relationship anymore. And to me, the way that he was kind of trying to get to know me, I felt like he was just trying to test the waters to see if I was compatible with him and if we could have a good relationship so that he could leave the girl that he was with and come with me. But nigga, just break up with the bitch and move on. Like, it's not that hard. Or it was that hard because they had a lot of shit in each other's names. But anyway, like, I'm not here condoning his actions because that's some dog ass shit. And in my eyes, that's cheating. But at the same time, so yeah, she beat him with a tire iron. He was saying how she poured gas on his suitcases. So he had no clothes, just the clothes he was wearing, poured gas on his shit. She was messaging him. She let his dog out of the house and his dog was like really close to him. So the dog was running free in the west end of my city. And then at one point we were like, you know what, just call the police. So he called the police, and then while we were sitting there, he's on the phone. I get a text message from some random number, and I was like, oh God. I'm pretty sure that with this message that I was sent, that my pictures that I sent him were attached. So I'm reading this really angry text message, and then at the bottom I just see my nudes, and I'm like, please send them coming. They can't do anything about my pictures because at the time I was over 18. It wasn't child porn, so there's nothing they could do about my situation. But with him, I think they were able to escort him. Either way, I think we had to write police reports. I think the police took him, got him some of his stuff, and then he came back to my house. We were in communication with his mother, who was in Toronto or Ontario, wherever the hell they are. And so we were talking to his mother, and she was explaining too, like, you know, this relationship wasn't all peaches and cream and shit. Like, you know, he was trying to leave. You know what, let me not even discuss that. Either way, this man was not happy, according to his mother. So the mother was very thankful. She's like, thank you for taking care of my son. I'm trying to get him back to Ontario. This, that, and the third. We realized that he did not have his passport because he was trying to book a flight back to Ontario. Because he had nobody here, he had nothing here, so he was just, you know, trying to get home to his mama. He was just trying to get home to his mama. Didn't have his passport. His ex-girlfriend, whatever the hell she is or was, had his passport. So that morning, like I said, we were up till like 3 in the morning. I got like no sleep. That morning, he goes to the SPCA to pick up his dog because his dog was found, brought to the SPCA. He picked up his dog, went back to my house, and I went to work. I don't work there no more. But yeah, so I went to work, came back home, and the dog was there. I think everything was good. You know, we ate, nothing too crazy happened. And then when he had ended up leaving, because I want to say we drove him to the airport. We drove him to the airport. And when he was in Toronto, we were still texting, communicating, you know, like, I don't know how we thought we were gonna make this work, but we were still communicating. So at first he starts texting me and he's like, where are you? Get inside your house right now, close your windows, this, that, and the third. And I said, why? And he's like, because my girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend, we're gonna call her Lou, because I am watching Heartland and Peter and Lou are a couple. So he's like, Lou is outside, she's driving around your house right now, get inside, get your family inside. So I tell my mom, I'm like, where's my brother? Bring him inside because Lou is outside driving right now. And then my mom gets mad again. And then my mom goes outside. And I remember he was sending me screenshots of the text messages between him and Lou. And this chick was parked outside because my mom lives in kind of like, not a kind of like a cul-de-sac. And so she had driven inside the cul-de-sac and was parked on the main road. She was texting him saying shit like, I see her brother outside playing, just some very creepy shit. I remember at one point she thought she seen me, but she actually seen my sister, because my sister went outside. She seen my sister and she's like, oh, I seen her. And I'm like, no, that was Tia. I don't remember if this was the night that it all happened, but I remember her texting me and basically telling me like, who do you think you went to see Tony Robbins with? I was with him there. And I think she mentioned something about Toronto, like who do you think went to Toronto and picked him up when he was detained? I was like, wow. She was telling him like, I'll pay her to come and talk to me. I was like, God damn, like she wanted to pay me money to come and tell her what all happened. And this whole thing got me hated. Not even hated, but I just remember my Snapchat and my social media was blowing up with friend requests. People were trying to spy on me. At one point, like I had started making a Venn diagram of everyone and how they were connected to her, because I knew, how am I gonna get 20 friend requests, 20 Snapchat ads, and they don't come from somebody that you know what I'm saying? So I already clued in. I still have people that are on my Instagram that are friends with her that followed me initially to spy on me, I think, in my opinion, but the people that are following me are actually cool, so you know I kept them. But yeah, like my Instagram, after he left, we weren't even talking at that time anymore. This is where the story gets even more fucked up. So me and him, we stopped texting, we weren't communicating, and then I get a ad on Snapchat. Men are fucking dumb. Like, let's just put that on the table, okay? Let's put that on the fucking table. Men are stupid. I get an ad from him. I add him. This man, this is why I'll never date a Libra, because y'all are petty and y'all are some hoes. He is posting his girlfriend or some girl that he started dating in Toronto. And at first I'm like, who is this girl that he's posting? Because he wasn't posting no cute pictures with her. He was just posting this chick. And then he starts posting these dates that they're going on. They're kissing, he's touching her. And I'm like, wow. You got some balls. You got some very big, ugly balls to be doing that shit. So then y'all know me, I got a little bit petty. I put on some Beyonce, I wanna say Destiny's Child, Say My Name, but it's like a remix to it. And I was lip syncing to that and this nigga blocked me. So you know what? Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. I seen Lou at the club one time and I was like, oh God, are we gonna get into a brawl here? I remember seeing her, I think it was her cousin, allegedly. Her cousin was mad at me and I'm like, because I guess Lou and Peter were going to court. I'm just like, bro, I did not know Peter and Lou were together. If I would have known he had a bitch, I would not have like dealt with him. I wouldn't have talked to him, none of that. So my advice to women is make sure you do background checks on these niggas, because come on. But yeah, guys, that was the petty story time, the little tea that y'all wanted from my Instagram story poll. If you guys want more of these stories, then make sure that you guys are liking the video, subscribe to my goddamn channel, and I will see you guys next time.